in the few minutes I have left with you, I'd love to game out what you're willing to share your strategy will be should you be the first head coach involved in a game with the new overtime rules. And I hope that is the case because that means you're in the playoffs. Secondly, just what does this new overtime rule mean? Does it mean first and foremost that you might not want the football, that you'd like to know what you have to do because you get it second in overtime, John Harbaugh?
It is a possibility, Rich. I think that's something that it does become more viable of an option, no doubt. Although I still think having possession first is still going to what people are going to look at and say it's a plus, because if it's two great quarterbacks, if it's the Mahomes, Allen type situation, both offenses are going strong, both quarterbacks are playing strong. If both teams score, then I'm still going to get the extra possession, and now it's going to be sudden death. So the Chiefs score, the Bills come back and score. I still want to be the Chiefs. I want to have that third possession. So I still think that's kind of going to be what people are going to be thinking about.
But isn't it a distinct advantage, though, for the offense to get it second? Because you'd never go for it. Well, I shouldn't say that, but it would be very rare for you to go for it in an overtime game, 4th and 8 from your own, 20. But you definitely are going to do that if you have to, right?
Yeah.
So isn't that a distinct advantage?
That's such a good point. I mean, that's the point. Like, my argument on the whole thing is that's why I'm not for it, And even though our team voted for it, they voted for it over my objection, because I don't think it solves the problem. And the only way to solve the possession is 9/10 of the law. It's the most important aspect of the game or anything. The only way we tried to mitigate it last year with field position, which is the two things, possession and field position, and that got 3 votes. So now we're just going to add possessions, and it's like, well, how many possessions are we going to add, and when is it going to stop? And are we going to extend the game into the 5th quarter, the 6th quarter? And we keep tacking plays on. So, I'm not bashful about saying it to you. You're my friend. I love you, and I said it in front of the whole league. So, I'm not for it. I don't think it's the answer. I think there'll be a better way to do it at some point in time. But we did have to do something, and I really respect Jeff Lurie, the Eagles, and some of the other teams that are really trying to do something to make it more fair. So that's kind of where we're at with it. But this thing still is full of holes in terms of just extending, adding more plays to the game, and really, what have you really solved? So that's where I'm at with it.
So, and I don't know, I haven't really read the fine print of the rule, and I think maybe we're still all learning what it might mean. Is it possible for a team to get it and go onside kick? And that would then mean if you recover it, you just need a field goal to win, because the other team had its opportunity to possess it, ball spinning around there 10 yards from where the onside kick began, and thus going for an onside kick, if you get the ball first, might just also mean it doesn't matter obviously it does matter in terms of field position if you don't recover it. Certainly if you've got in your back pocket a possession you're going to get. Is that possible, Coach?
Sure, but it was possible. I mean, that was something you could do with the last rule. If you get the onside kick, now that they've had their possession opportunity and you're in sudden death now, you just go kick the field goal and win. So that hasn't changed. If you're facing a great quarterback, and you say, I don't think we're going to stop him, all right, I'd like to add a 10% chance maybe that I'm going to get the ball back, and maybe I add, if they only have a 90% chance of getting the ball and scoring instead of what might be considered a 100% chance if you don't think you can stop them,
right,
you've helped yourself just a little bit there. But it's really not any different than it was before. The only difference is now, at least if they do score on a short field as opposed to a long field, I know I'm going to get the ball back. So I'm going to have an opportunity to go score and tie the game up or win with a 2-point
And
conversion.
So I guess last one for you on this. You don't have to name names. Were you, I imagine, you might not have been the only head coach in the NFL not into this, but ownership or whomever said, let's do it anyway because it's better than nothing. Were you in the minority as a head coach in the NFL on not really being into this new idea?
I don't know. I didn't do the poll on it, So that's, I have to ask those guys. But
okay.
There'll be they're going to keep talking about it, I think, and we'll come up with something here at some point.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.